let me introduce myself. I'm Krishna. I have close to like 13 years of experience into IT, and for the past 9 years, I'm into online trainings. So I have trained many candidates in different technologies. Like I'm working on Snowflake from the past 4 years, guys, and I'm currently working as an architect for a US bank. So that's about me. So before getting into Snowflake, the basic prerequisite to learn this course is you should have basic idea on SQL. You should people general, right? They're from any of the database or ETL reporting, so they'll go with the Snowflake. So just want to hear from you. Do you guys have any basic idea on these things?
Yeah, yes.
Okay, okay, and fine. Okay, I'll do one thing. Just like for the last
Mhm.
5 minutes, less than 5 minutes, I'll just go over the basics. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
So the main agenda of this demo is I'll tell you what is Snowflake, why people and companies moving towards Snowflake, and what exactly you guys are going to learn in the next 30 days. So yeah, we'll see how the market is for Snowflake. Okay, yeah. So when I say Snowflake, right? So basically, it's a database. You can compare with any of the existing databases. So we have different databases in the market, right? The traditional databases. We have Oracle, SQL Server, DB, DB2, and we have MySQL. We have PostgreSQL. Okay, so there are different databases in the market, and let's say the people who are already working on these databases, they're learning Snowflake and they're moving towards it. Why? What is the reason? Okay, even the companies so who have their application on these databases, even they are migrating to Snowflake. So there are different reasons, guys. We'll talk about that. So when I say Snowflake, it's a database and it's on the cloud. Actually, it's a cloud database. Okay. So generally, in any database, right, we have different schemas. Okay. So why we have different schemas? Generally, if we take just a simple example, let's say there is a bank called Bank of America. They have like different customers. Okay, so Bank of America is giving different services to the customers. Let's say they give insurance, they'll give different bank accounts, and they'll give loans. Okay, so let's assume we have like 4 million customers, just for the example. Okay, so to store the entire information of the customers, they require a database. Okay, so database will have different schemas, and what exactly schema will contain? Schema will contain different objects. So when I say object, and there are different objects actually. Not only in Snowflake, if you take any database, there are different objects. Okay, so we'll just for the timing we'll stick to tables. So one of the object is table, guys. So when I say table, you can take this as an example. Let's say this is one of the say information, kids information. So let's say in the current example, let's say Bala is having two kids and they are studying in Bhashyam and Chaitanya, and this is the address. So this is a kind of information related to the kids. Okay, this is called as a table. The cutting it. So this is called as a column, guys. This how many columns we have? We have like we have 10 columns, right? These are all called 10 columns. And how many rows we have? This is called as a row. We have 5 rows, right? So I mean, we all know what is a table. Table will have rows and columns. And you need to know one more term called data type. When I say data type, so the type of information. So in this particular column, I'm storing character information. This is all you have. If you have any questions, you can stop me, guys. So this is a date information. This is also character. This is a character. This is a numeric information. So based on the data that we are storing in a column, we have to define the data type of it. So we have different data types. Just for the time being, we are sticking with these 3 data types. So the point is, you should know what is a database. Database will have schemas. Schema will have different objects. The next term which you need to know is what is a on-premise. What is on-premise and what is a cloud? I'll get back to Snowflake in another 5 minutes. Guys. Before that, we need to have the basic terminology. So when I say on-premise, okay. So let's say let me pick any one of your name. Let's say we have Prem actually. Let's say Prem wants to start a business. Okay, he wants to start a business. So the point is, let's say he wants to start a, let's say, a supermarket. So to start that, he needs to purchase the software, hardware, and he needs to do some maintenance activities, right? Let's assume he started his business by uh, like what is it, by purchasing all these things. He started the business. Let's say initially he is having 100 customers, and after 2 months, he's having close to 1,000 customers. So which means his business is growing, right? Initially, he purchased a server with the capacity 1 terabyte and 32 GB RAM. Since he is having more number of customers, he wants to scale up. The reason why I took the example is you should know what is scale up. Scale up is nothing but moving from a moving to the higher capacity from the existing capacity. So 1 terabyte to 32 GB RAM to 2 GB and 64 GB RAM, because he's having more number of customers. Let's say customers are reporting that okay, when they're accessing this URL, it is very slow. So that's the reason you're trying to scale up to give better services to the customers. Let's assume you have only, after 2 months you have only, let's say, 50 customers, which means your business is not growing. So the point is you are planning to reduce the capacity. So there is no point in maintaining this much of capacity. Okay, in case of on-premise, as a business owner, you have to purchase a software, hardware. You need to run the servers by 24 by 7. You need to upgrade the, you need to do the upgradations. Okay, you need to apply the patches. Whenever there is a new version comes into the market, let's say initially you are with V1. Let's say there's a new version comes into the market. Okay, you need to upgrade it. So there are a lot of maintenance activities, correct? So as a business owner, you have to take care of all these things. You're getting my point, right? This is on-premise. In case of on-premise, you have to bear all the cost with respect to performing these activities. So that is where you have cloud. The cloud came into the picture. What exactly this cloud? So I'm just listing the major cloud providers. Guys. We have AWS, Azure, and GCP. So these are the three major cloud providers supporting different customers in different ways. Okay. Let us say we have Prem. He requested AWS. Hey, can you give me? This is my requirement. Can you prepare the environment for me? You know what they will do. So you no need of doing anything. They have to take care of giving you the details. Okay. What they will usually, they'll give you one URL. You'll give a username and password. So with that, you can log in and you can access the required environment. So that is what a cloud. Generally, there are different services given by the cloud providers. They'll give you platform as a service, infrastructure as a service, or software as a service. Okay, you're getting my point, right? So my point is to explain what is the difference between on-premise versus cloud. So in case of on-premise, let's say assume you have business from, let's say, morning, let's say 8 a.m. to evening 5 p.m. Okay. After that, can you able to shut down your servers? No, right? Because even though we are having or not having the customers, you have to up and running the servers. So you have to bear the cost for 24 by 7 in case of on-premise. But in case of cloud, let's say if I talk about Snowflake is minimum billing is 1 minute. After that, it is per second billing. It is per second billing. Let us say if I use for 5 minutes, I have to pay only for 5 minutes. If I use it for, let's say, 2 hours, I have to pay only for 2 hours. So the point is, what are the services that you're going to consume? You have to pay only for that. Okay. And the next point is you know what are the different formats of the data. Okay. So we have different formats. Okay. We have tabular format. We just saw, right, one of the tabular format. This is a tabular format, and we have CSV format. So when I say CSV format, the point is the data can be in any format Snowflake supports. Let us take this scenario. So we have a CSV file. Can you see the extension? This is .csv. So we have some information. Mhm. We have product line, product type, and product description. Okay, this is some product information. Or the data can be in different formats. Let me look at this format. Can you see the extension? It is .xml.
Yeah.
There is one more format called .json. Can you see the JSON format? And let me show you one more the format. The data can be in Parquet format. Can you see the extension? Dot Parquet. Okay. So the point is the data can be in any format Snowflake supports. Okay. So we'll see how it will support and all. But the point is that you need to know what are the different formats of the data. And as of now, there are three major cloud providers who are supporting Snowflake, guys. Okay. See, Snowflake as such, they don't have their own cloud environment. So that is the reason they are relying on AWS, Microsoft Azure, and GCP. So these are the three major cloud providers who are supporting Snowflake in different regions. So you're good at till this point.
Yeah, yes, yeah, very good.
Okay. Now we're moving to Snowflake. Why Snowflake? So the main advantage is Snowflake is a cloud data warehouse, and you have to pay only for the services that you have consumed. The storage services are flexible. When I say flexible, whenever you want, you can scale up and scale down. It supports different formats of the data. The main advantage why like companies or people moving towards Snowflake is the integration. Let's say you're working on one technology. So how you're going to communicate with other technologies? Okay, that is called integration. So it has integrations with cloud services like Microsoft Azure, Amazon, and GCP, and it has integrations with ETL and reporting tools. It has integrations with Python. Okay, and it has its own advanced features. Okay, but let me just spend some time on integration. So as part of this course, right, what we're going to do is the major focus will be on Snowflake. The major focus will be on Snowflake. And apart from this, we are going to create accounts with AWS, Azure, and GCP. And also, we're going to see some of the examples on Python. And we're going to install Informatica Integrated Cloud Service, IACS. And we'll see how we are going to move the data from Oracle to Snowflake. So this is one more example that I'm going to work on. And also we'll learn some of the basics of DBT, data build tool. This is a trending tool in the current market. And also we'll install a few of the tools like PyCharm, okay, Anaconda, what else, Visual Studio. Okay. So these are all the different things that we're going to learn as part of this course. Anyways, I'll come back to this. Okay, let me talk about the integrations with the ETL and reporting tools. So I'll just take you to a slide where it explains, okay, the integrations with the different tools. See, you are in this is Snowflake actually. You can send the data to ETLs and you can get the data from ETL tools. So these are some of the ETL tools: Informatica, DBT, and Talent. And even you can interact with the big data tools like Spark and PySpark. Okay, you can send and you can get the data. And finally, the data can be consumed by the reporting team. Okay, this is Power BI actually. So even I'll show you how to install Power BI. Okay, and how we can consume the Snowflake data for the reporting purpose. Generally, Power BI team or Tableau team, right? They'll build the dashboards with the data and data. Okay. Okay. So that is one of the advantage actually. And also, I told you, right. So from Snowflake, it is very easier to integrate with Amazon S3, Azure, and GCP. And I told you we are going to work with Python as well. So to learn any technology, you should know the architecture. So what is the architecture of Snowflake? So can you see how database layer, query processing layer, and cloud services layer, right? I'll just put it with a simple example. Let us say you're having your external hard disk. You're having your external hard disk. Let's say it is 1 terabyte, and let's say you may have three computers, three laptops. Okay, let's say laptop. Let's say PC one of let's say 4 GB RAM, and you have one more laptop with PC two, which is 8 GB RAM. And there is another laptop with 16 GB RAM. So in my external hard disk, I have different files, okay, images and videos. We all know, right? If I connect my external hard disk to the computer which is having higher RAM, I'll get more performance. When I say performance, in what way you're going to get the performance? In terms of reading, right? I can read the files, images, or videos within seconds. That is called read. Let us say I'm preparing a documentation in my laptop. I want to write that. I want to write to the hard disk. Okay, if your RAM is very slow, it will take some time to write, right? So the here what RAM is doing, it is allocating the resources with respect to read and write, right? Now let me apply the same to the Snowflake architecture. So let us assume this is your external hard disk, PC1 with 4 GB RAM, 8 GB RAM, and 16 GB RAM. Okay, just for the timing, remove RAM and put virtual warehouse. Okay, so I have a virtual warehouse with the different sizes. We'll talk about what are the sizes, but the point is database layer will responsible for storing the data. Your query processing layer will be responsible for reading the data from the database or writing data to the database. So without the help of virtual warehouse, you cannot read or write data from the database. You're clear, right? Database layer will be responsible for storing the data. Query processing layer will be responsible for read and write. And there is one more component. So you'll understand what exactly I mean by cloud services in another 5 minutes. Okay, you're clear on this architecture, right?
Yeah, it's clear. Yes.
Okay, now let me move to the. I'll do one thing. I'll just quickly create a Snowflake account for you, so that it is very easier for us to see the how the UI will look like. Let me go to the snowflake.com. So there is a at the right hand side you will see an option called Start for free. Click on this. Okay, so can you see the message? Start your 30-day free trial, which includes $400 worth of free usage. So it
Yeah.
is as simple as creating a Gmail account. So let me give the name. Let's say Krishna. Okay, I can take the email ID. I'll just pick one of the- let's say I'm just taking an email. So why? What is the reason in signing up? I want to complete my training or certification. Okay, or you can choose any of your options. Okay, your company is considering Snowflake. Okay, I'm going with training or certification for my job. So when I say training or certification, so let me talk about the different certifications that are available with Snowflake. And since you are in US, it is if you have a certification that is an added advantage for you. Certification, you can see the certification. So we have Snow Pro Core certification. That is a basic certification. If you complete this course, you can easily clear the basic certification. So I'll share you the dumps which required to clear the certification. Even we'll discuss on that. And depending upon your role, okay, you're architect, administrator, engineer, scientist, or data analyst, you can go with the advanced certifications. Okay. Anyways, I'll come back to this. Click on continue. So once you click on continue, it will ask you a few more details. What is your company name? What is your job title? Okay, and choose your Snowflake editions. So Snowflake has three editions, guys. When I say Snowflake editions, can you see this diagram? We have standard edition, enterprise edition, business critical. So each edition, sorry, each edition has its own features, right? But this is too early to talk about. But I'll put it with a simple example. Let's say you're planning to purchase a car. Let us assume standard is nothing but it's a base variant, enterprise is mid variant, and business critical is nothing but high variant. So generally people go with high variant, the reason being they'll get all the features of the car. Similarly, let's assume Snowflake has given some 100 features. If I choose standard, I'll get only 50. If I choose enterprise, I'll get only 80%. If I choose business critical, I'll get most of the features given by Snowflake. So I want to explore all the features, click on business critical. And as I already told you, there are three cloud providers who are supporting Snowflake currently. It's up to you the what is the cloud provider that you want. You can choose that. I'm just going with the AWS. Click on get started. Now they're taking the feedback. What is your preferred language? Click on continue. What exactly you want to do with Snowflake? If you want to give the feedback, just queue, or else you can skip the step. Okay. Let's say I want to use Snowflake for my data warehousing purpose. I want to build some ML models. Click on submit. That's it. Okay. Now you will receive one email. Okay. You need to activate that. Let me switch to the email. Let me, yes. So can you see the email? Activate your Snowflake account, right? Activate your Snowflake account. So if you scroll down, you'll find one URL. Copy that. This is the URL that you are going to use it for next 30 days. And once you click on activate, it'll ask you to choose your username and password. So I'm just going with Krishna. They're asking 14 characters. So I'll do one thing. So this is 13 characters. I need to choose a number. Right. This is the password. Click on get started. Okay. So the UI which you are seeing is called Snow Site. Is the Snowflake user interface that you're currently seeing. You call, I mean, we call it as a Snow Site. What do you mean by Snow Site? This is a name given to the user interface. So there is an option, guys. Can you see projects? Click on this project, and there is a option to create a worksheet. Click on this worksheet. Okay, let's try to compare Snowflake architectures versus Snowflake user interface. So this is the architecture. In the architecture, we have databases, right? We have different databases, and we have warehouse, and you have cloud services layer. Now, if I have to talk about the databases, at the left hand side, can you see different databases? See here databases, right? So these are the databases which are given by Snowflake. What is the Snowflake sample data? This is for our practice. So they have given different schemas here. These are all the different schemas. If you expand any one of the schema, you will find different tables. Okay. Anyways, we are going to make use of these tables for our practice. And Snowflake is another database. This is on. This is for admins. Snow purely for admins. Okay. Now, so as per our requirement, let's say I would like to create a database. So we have taken one example, right? Let's say we have Bank of America, and they're having three different schemas, right? Insurance schema, banking schema, and loan schema. Okay. So for the similar requirement, I want to create a database. So in Snowflake, right, if you want to execute any command, you need to use this play button. Can you see the play button? This is the play button, or else there is a shortcut CTRL plus enter. This is a shortcut to execute a command. Okay. So this is simple. All commands are straightforward. So I want to create a database. Let's say Bank of America underscore DB. This is my database that I want to create. Do a refresh. Can you see here? This is my database. If I expand this, I'll have two schemas. We'll talk about the purpose of these schemas later, but these schemas will get created automatically once you create a database. Now, what is my requirement? My requirement is to create a schema. Create schema, let's say insurance underscore schema. Do a refresh. See, I have insurance schema, right? There are no objects in the schema. So I'll quickly create two more schemas, loan schema and banking schema. Do a refresh. See, I have banking schema. So what I told you guys, we have database. Database will have different schemas. What schema will contain? Schema will contain different objects. Okay. But what are the different objects that are available? Or else what you guys are going to learn? Okay. Or what are your responsibilities as a Snowflake developer? So if you want to know that, there is one thing called databases, right? Click on this databases. You will find this database. Let's assume you are currently working on this particular schema. So as a Snowflake developer, my roles and responsibilities are to create different tables, views, stages, storage integration, file format, sequences, snow pipes, streams, tasks, procedures, functions. These are all the different objects. Okay. So we're going to learn Okay, all these things, guys. Okay, but if anyone asks you what are different objects that you have worked with, these are the different objects. Okay. Anyways, I'll come back to this. So just to save the time, I have prepared a script, guys, to create a few of the tables. Now, as of now, do you see any objects here? No, right? It is saying
No.
no objects
Yeah.
found, right? No objects found. Okay. Now we'll try to understand the purpose of warehouse. So that is the reason I'm creating few of the tables. So I already prepared one script, guys. Yeah, here it is. Okay. So let us say I'm going to create few tables. I'll share it with you. Let me copy this things. Now let me create different tables. Okay. So can you see here we have tables, right? Inside these tables, so there are many tables, right, that are getting created. Now, if I ask you, can anyone tell me how many tables are there? How many tables are there?
P3 is we
23.
created.
Yes, we created 23. So we know that there are 23. But let's say you logged in. So you don't have an access. Let's say you just got an access. Now I am asking you, hey, Prem, can you tell me how many tables are there? So it is difficult for you to count, right? Correct? It is
Yes.
difficult for you to count. That is where the information schema the cloud services layer will comes into the picture. Okay. There is a component called metadata manager. Okay. What do you mean by metadata? You need to understand this particular term called metadata. Metadata. So when I say metadata, today I created a database, right? I have created 3 schemas and I have created 23 tables. These are all metadata from where you can find the metadata. Once you create a database, information schema will get created automatically, right? That will store the metadata. I'm writing one simple query. Select star from information schema dot databases. So from this, I can able to see what are all the databases that are available. See here, I created Bank of America DB. Just forget about the rest of the databases. I have a database. Whatever the database that I have created, I'm able to see that information. How many schemas I have created? I created 3 schemas: banking schema, insurance schema, and loan schema. Anyways, these two are given by Snowflake. I have created 23 tables. So from where I can get to know that? From the information schema. There is an object called tables. I'm adding a condition here. I'll tell you why I'm adding this later. So I have close to 23 tables. Can you see here? So instead of counting manually, I can make use of metadata, right? Who will store the metadata? The cloud services layer will help us in maintaining the metadata. Okay. So now we know what is a database, what is a cloud service layer, or one of the component of cloud services layer, that is called metadata. Let's say if I add a few more tables. So as of now, the count is showing as 23, right? So let us say 24, 25. Now, if I create these two tables, it has to show 25, right? Let me run this. Currently, it is showing us 23, correct? Now it has to show 25. Let me create these two tables. Done. Two tables are created. Let's verify how many tables are there. There are 25 tables. Okay. This is called metadata. So I hope you're clear on this. Now let's talk about, let's try to understand what is this query. Yeah, sure.
Sorry to interrupt. So information schema is just common in every database, right? Even Postgres or take any database,
Ah,
they
right,
have
exactly.
information schema. So how is it related to
Hmm.
this cloud component?
No, that is what. See, if you take any database, okay, you have to maintain metadata, right? So this information schema will maintain the metadata of it. That's it. See, if I take, let's say, Oracle, okay, this is Oracle actually. So if I expand this, So I can say that there is one table. Okay. So as of now, I have only one table. Correct. This is Oracle database. But from where I can get the metadata? So there is a metadata object called user underscore tables. So in user underscore tables, I can see one table. Let's say I'm adding two more tables. See, I'm creating two other tables. There is no replace keyword in. Okay, let me remove this. So the significance is to maintain the metadata. Let me run this. Okay, so I have two tables here. Total three tables. If I check user underscore tables, it is having metadata. So this is one more object to verify the metadata in Oracle. But in Snowflake, if you want to see the metadata, you have information schema. If you take Postgres, even they are having also information schema. There is no difference actually. This is a schema. We are maintaining the metadata. You're clear?
Yeah. Okay.
Now let's try to understand what is this query processing. What is query processing layer and what is a virtual warehouse? If you look at here, there is a run on warehouse. There is a warehouse called compute warehouse. So this is the warehouse given by Snowflake. The current state is what is started, right? It is started. It is in the green color. So your warehouse is up and running. What is the purpose of the warehouse? To read and write, right? Let's say if you want to write some data, or when I say write, we are trying to insert some data or update some data or delete some data. I need a warehouse. Let's say I want to read. Read is nothing but select. I want to retrieve some data from the database. I need a warehouse. So current state is started, which means my warehouse is running. I'm just making a small change here, just to explain the purpose of warehouse. This step is not required for you. Okay. So I did some change here. Now, what is the current state of my warehouse? It is suspended, which means you cannot use your warehouse. Okay. Now, what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to write some data. Sorry. I'm trying to insert some records into my table. Okay. Let us take a customer table. Okay. We have some customers here. I want to insert some data into the customer table. Okay. So let's say say we have like close to 6 customers. I want to insert the data. Let me try to insert. So you're writing data to the database. You're getting a message, error message. Warehouse is suspended. So when you want to write data to the database without the help of warehouse, you cannot write. Okay. Now I want to start my warehouse. Let me start the warehouse. The current state is what? It is suspended. Now I'm starting my warehouse. Can you see the color? Now the warehouse is started. Now can I run my insert statements? In other words, can I write data to the database? Yes, I can write data to the database in case if my warehouse is up and running. Now, again, I'm suspending my warehouse. Your warehouse is suspended. Now I want to read the data. What do you mean by read? Is nothing but select. I want to select the data from my database. Can I able to do this? No, you cannot do this because your warehouse is suspended. Let me start the warehouse. Now that my warehouse is started, let's try to run the command. Select star from the particular table. Yes, I'm able to see the data. Now you're clear on the architecture, right? Database layer will be responsible for storing the data. Pre-processing layer will be helping us to read and write. Cloud services layer will be responsible for maintaining the metadata. Okay, one more important point. The name of the user interface, I told you, right? It is Snow Site. Okay. The name of the user interface is Snow Site. See here, it is Snow Site. This is available from 2023 onwards. Okay. Let's say if you say you're working on Snowflake, let's say from the past 3 years, the first question you can expect is, what are the different user interfaces that you have worked with? You need to say that you're working on currently Snow Site, and earlier, prior to 2023, you worked on Classic UI. So this is prior to 2023. Prior to 2023. But how this Classic UI will look like? If you are using this trial version, you don't have a permission to access Classic UI. But I'll just show you. Okay, before that, I need a comparison, right? If I show you Classic UI, you should be in a position to compare, right? Let us say at the left hand side, can you see all the databases? Right? You have databases, right? And you have here warehouse, and there is one thing called role here. Okay, we'll talk about what is a role probably tomorrow. Run on warehouse, we have a role here, and you have databases right here. Databases is there. Can you see marketplace? You have sharing, right? Marketplace is there. Partner connect is there. Okay, and you have query history, copy history, task history. Okay, and this is the admin tab. In the admin tab, you have cost management, warehouses, users, roles, accounts. Okay, there are different things, right? I'll just repeat one more time. We have databases, marketplace, partner connect. We have query history, copy history, task history, and we have cost management, users and roles, accounts. So these are all the different things that you are able to see in Snow site. I'll just show you one of the previous video of like, let's say 2022. Yes, can you you're able to see the video, right? So this is
Yep.
called classic UI. So in classic UI, can you see databases?
Yep.
We have seen marketplace, right? We have seen warehouses, accounts. History means copy history, query history. You have partner connect. Okay, and there is an option in the blue color. You can move from classic UI to Snow site. Okay, and this video is, can you see the date 12/12/2022? Okay, so the point is you can switch between Snow site and classic UI. Okay? And whatever the option that you're able to see using Snow site, all the options will find in classic UI also. Just the user interface is different. That's it, nothing more than that. Okay, here you have this warehouses, right? Warehouse is there. You have database is there. Schema is there. Okay? Anyways, I'll share you this video. You can find these things. Okay, so that is a difference actually. It is just the UI different, nothing more than that. So what exactly you guys are going to learn in the next 30 days? Okay, generally before going to the Q&A, the course duration will be from mostly 30 sessions. If I exclude Sundays, it will be like 35 to 40 days. Okay, every day, Monday to Saturday. And usually these are the different questions that I'll expect from the students. So can you able to help me in resume preparation, certification, interview questions, lab material, real-time data? Yes, I'm going to provide all these things for you. Even I'll show you how a real-time environment will look like. Okay. Usually how we operate in offshore, right? People who placed from my site, they'll come on every Saturday and they'll show you how the how the environment will look like, okay, how they're getting the requirements, okay, what are the different tools that they are using, okay. So they'll give a demo on that for the students so that it is beneficial for them to get a job or to explain about what the current project, what they are using. Okay. So this way we operate in at offshore. Okay, that's all about from my side as part of demo.